About 3 weeks ago now, I bought 2 courses so I could review just for you guys. Time Filmmaker by Parker Walbeck and Tomorrow's Filmmakers by Justice McCraney. Now on the surface, before you buy either of these courses, they both look very similar, and it might make you wonder why one is way more expensive than the other. But after I bought both of them, I found out really quickly that these are 2 totally different types of courses intended for 2 totally different types of filmmakers. So today in this video, I'll be talking about my experience in both of these courses as a student and telling you which one I think would be right for you based on what you want to do and what kind of filmmaker you want to be. Because for some people, full-time filmmaker is the move, and for others, Tomorrow's Filmmakers is the way to go. They're that different, and without a video like this, I don't know how else you would know until it's too late. First, I just want to tell you that there are links to both of these courses down in the description, and they're both affiliate links. So I have nothing to gain out of recommending one course or the other, just as long as it's the right course for you. But feel free to use one of those links to make your purchase as a thanks for this unbiased review. So let's get started. There are timestamps in the description if you want to jump around here. We're going to be comparing the business sections of the courses, the structure of them, the amount of content that comes with these, the types of niches that the information that they specialize in here, and the Facebook groups that come along with these courses as support. I wanted to talk about the business sections here first because within both of these courses, the business section is a key component about why these courses are worth it. Like, they're both designed to help you get on the fast track to earning money as a filmmaker. That's why you would buy either one of these courses at all. So we'll start with what they have in common. They both talk a lot about what you should charge, how to price your services. And that's really important to figure out because you might be leaving money on the table or you might be losing clients because you're trying to charge too much. Both of them also talk about the best ways to create and grow a good portfolio that'll actually attract clients, as well as what your website should look like that houses that portfolio, because you kind of need both to work together to really land those clients. And other than website stuff, they both also talk about using social media to get clients. But that's about where the comparisons end, because the full-time filmmaker business section is a little more well built out than the Tomorrow's Filmmakers business section. Something I really liked what Parker did was he talked in depth about how to communicate with potential clients or existing clients in a way that doesn't alienate them, it doesn't turn it into a standoff. He shows you how to negotiate respectfully so that you can get what you're worth and cultivate a working relationship with clients moving forward. He also shows you other businessy stuff like registering as an LLC, opening up a business bank account, taxes, stuff like that. And on top of all of that, he shows you how he makes his Facebook and Instagram ads, which I'm sure all of you have seen because I've seen plenty of them. So first points go to Full-Time Filmmaker for their business section. And it kind of makes sense because Parker's a business school kind of guy and Justice is a film school kind of guy. You'll see how that comes into play later on in this video. So now let's talk about the structure of these 2 courses. They both start off with the beginner stuff like camera settings, which gear you should get, how to edit, and then the business stuff like that. And then they both go into the more niche stuff like entire sections on real estate videos or wedding videos. Within these structures, it feels like Tomorrow's Filmmakers is kind of all over the place because I'd say they have much more of a variety of stuff that you can learn, and through that wide variety, I'd say that there's a lot of overlap. So like, I kind of get annoyed by how many freaking times they explained shutter speed and frame rates. It seems like for almost every section, they start off by going over the basics again, which is super annoying because they've already beat it to death by the time you're down there that far into the course. Whereas the Full-Time Filmmaker team definitely takes their structure more seriously. I mean, on their website, they even boast about how they're the most efficient film school, and it's reflected because there's no fluff in here. There's just everything that they think that you need to know, and it's curated content that just like go and add it. So points to Full-Time Filmmaker for their structure, just because when they add new stuff and update their course, it makes more sense and they think about where it should go. And yes, both of these courses are constantly being updated and expanded, so over time you get more for your money as they grow. And now let's look at the amount of content that you actually get with both of these. At the time of filming this, Tomorrow's Filmmakers has over 600 individual video lessons in their course library, and Full-Time Filmmaker has over 400 video lessons. So while it seems like Tomorrow's Filmmakers has more content to offer, they actually have a less duration of total video hours. Because in the Full-Time Filmmaker course, out of those 400 plus videos, there's over 80 hours of content. But on the Tomorrow's Filmmakers side, they have over 75 hours of content, not as much. So what that's actually saying to me is that the Tomorrow's Filmmakers course is way more diverse, like I said earlier, while Full-Time Filmmaker really drills down on what they're good at. So if you're trying to look at just which course has the most content, they both have about the same. You can't really decide based on that. But what you should decide based on is what that content is. So now let's take a look at the different niches that these two courses excel in, because they both have super high quality information overall throughout the whole courses, but after the beginner and business sections, they start to go down different paths. If you look at the names of the sections within Tomorrow's Filmmakers, you'll see that it kind of starts to go down a narrative path, like if you want to do short films or maybe even feature-length films. We see that with section titles like storyboarding, composing, acting. It's very narrative based. And then on the flip side, if you look at the section titles of Full-Time Filmmaker, you'll see that it starts to go down a client businessy side. And that's reflected with entire sections dedicated to music videos, real estate videos, commercials, action sports promos. And that's where these courses start to pull away from each other because they're both amazing at what they're really good at. It just happens to be two different things. So let's say that they both get points for being awesome at their respective niches. Niches. And now let's compare the last category, their Facebook groups. They both have rather large Facebook communities, and they're both really helpful. All the people in both of these groups are always helping each other out and giving each other feedback. But in terms of these Facebook groups, I'm gonna have to give Full-Time Filmmaker the points for the better Facebook group. It is way bigger, and just scrolling through it, you can see that the students in there are creating such high quality stuff. I mean, in there you have people like Adam Grumbo, Austin Paul. There are some really good filmmakers involved in that community. The Tomorrow's Filmmakers group is always growing and it's definitely improving, but it's just not as good as the Full-Time Filmmaker one, in my opinion. So points to Full-Time Filmmaker for the Facebook group. So here we are, and we can see that our best overall course is Full-Time Filmmaker with 5 points to Tomorrow Filmmakers 2 points. But of course that all depends on what's important to you and what kind of filmmaker you want to be. So let's talk about it. Who do you have to be in order for these courses to be worth it? Full-Time Filmmaker is worth it for someone like me because I just wanted to figure out how to get more higher paying clients. And at the point where I'm at, if I just get one more extra client, that course is paid off and then some. And honestly, anytime anyone finishes the course with enough practice, you should be at the same point. And for Tomorrow's Filmmakers to be worth it, you really gotta be into short films and narrative stuff. But if you're more interested in getting hired to do client work, I'd say skip Tomorrow's Filmmakers and go with Full-Time. But I could say that I was definitely happily surprised from both of these courses. I went into this wanting to knock on them. I didn't want to like them. But now I know how good they are, and now you know who I recommend these to. And if you do end up buying these courses and disagree with me, thinking that they weren't worth it, you can just shoot them an email and you get your money back. There's literally no risk. And with that, I hope this video helped you guys out. There will be some other videos for you guys to watch up next here. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.